So what we're going to cover in today's video is ingredients in foods you should never consume, food items that cause brain fog, GI issues, and inflammation, common foods that hide sneaky ingredients, and why it's so important to pay attention to the details when it comes to your health and performance. Because like I said, if you're eating the high quality proteins and the pro-metabolic carbs, those are great, but sometimes the devil's in the details, and if you're still having these sneaky ingredients on top of that, you might be counteracting all of the hard work you've put in. So why you should avoid these items. There are so many bad ingredients in foods that cause these issues, but I'm not going to go over every single one. I would say the main components are the gums, the carrageenan, the soy oils, or just vegetable oils in general, artificial flavors, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, basically anything that says artificial in front of it has got to go, dyes, nitrates, like the list goes on. But one thing they do have in common is the issues that they cause. So irritated gut walls. This is specifically from the gums. So these gums are very irritable to our gut. Known carcinogens, that could be the carrageenan, that's the artificial colors, the artificial flavors, the nitrates, extremely inflammatory, so basically all of these cause inflammation. IBS, so this ties in with irritated gut walls. You can definitely get IBS from these items. Colon cancer, so this was pretty big in the meat industry, but it's not from meat, it's from nitrates. Insulin resistance, so this is primarily from vegetable oils, so soy oil, canola oil. Diabetes, again, because insulin resistance is the first step to diabetes, so these are tied in together. A lot of researchers are theorizing that diabetes and insulin resistance aren't from sugar and carbs. Those are actually great for you. The right sugars and the right carbs are great for you because glucose is the primary energy source of the cell, right? So how could that be causing diabetes? Well, there's a couple things to that. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but if you're eating sugars without protein to balance that, then you're gonna spike your insulin. It's gonna create insulin resistance long term that leads to diabetes. So these studies are done on sugar purely absorbed, not sugar paired with a protein. But with that being said, a lot of these causes come from vegetable oils, something that we should, as a human species, should never consume. Birth defects, organ damage, behavioral problems, hyperactivity, ADHD, and lipofuscin, again, another culprit due to the vegetable oils. You can't really pick and choose what these are paired with because they all kind of cause the same thing, especially when you look at this picture in its entirety and see how many foods have all of these ingredients. They all kind of tie in with each other. Here's a good drawing that I found when researching for this module. So it says, if food products were honestly labeled. So just zooming in, would you really buy these sausages if they said colon cancer in hot dogs, or for sure diabetes drinks, so drinking tons of soda? If you drink that soda without, paired with a protein, that definitely can lead to that. ADHD flakes, so looking at cereals, the ingredients in them causing hyperactivity, kids not being able to focus. I mean, you get the point here. Would you really buy these foods if they were honestly labeled? Probably not. But what you don't know, you don't know. And I love that saying because it's so simple but so true at the same time. If, people still buy these foods because they aren't honestly labeled. These cornflakes look delicious, but it's not good for you. But people aren't usually aware of this because they're not educated. And this is why you guys are here in this course, because if you weren't already educated on food ingredients, now you will be. So just looking at the foods that have these ingredients, they're items that you would never suspect. So coffee creamer, you would never think that coffee creamer would have vegetable oils and carrageenan. And the scariest part about this is that this coffee creamer actually has no milk in it. You can look it up. Coffee Mate, none of them have milk in it. It's actually water, pure water, and vegetable oils. That's like the third ingredient for Coffee Mate. It's pretty insane. It should be a crime that you're calling this cream when in fact there's no cream inside of it. And then when we're looking at bacon, so this has sodium nitrates, looking at a very popular brand of yogurt, so Yoplait Light. This has acetylflame potassium, I can't even say that word, sucralose, which is an artificial sweetener. It has colors in it, so red 40, blue 1, and then fortified D3. So look out for fortified items. This is basically a synthetic supplement to make it healthier for you because it's so stripped of nutrients, this is also toxic to you as well. So never buy something that's fortified. And then even Quest bars. So I'm sure we have a lot of Tom Bilyeu fans out there. Even Quest has sucralose. Looking at Heinz tomato ketchup, this has high fructose corn syrup. Pedialyte, which I would not recommend to anyone, and the fact that this is a children's drink is very scary to me because it has artificial sweeteners, the Aciflame potassium, Red 40, Blue 1. Now, the issue with artificial sweeteners is that our body is so dynamic and so complex that when we're eating foods and we're experiencing the taste and the smell and just the whole kind of picture that you're painting yourself when you're eating this food, when we smell things like orange juice or sugar, our gut actually gets ready to digest that food and it starts emitting these special enzymes depending on what the food is. So if your body is being tricked and you think you're going to eat real sugar, but you actually get this very foreign subject like sucralose, which is not sugar at all, you're creating these enzymes to break down sugar, but it's actually not sugar, and that can cause issues with your gut again. And then MSG, so monosodium glutamate. This is very bad for you as well, very addictive. And then beef jerky. So these things, inherently, you don't think they're that bad, but they're just ridden with these sneaky ingredients. So again, devil is in the details. Now, one serving won't hurt you. That's how the FDA, that's how the food organizations, that's how the food lobbyists, these big corporations, that's how they get away with this, because when they're doing these testings, first of all, they're doing one servings. So they're looking at the one serving of ketchup, maybe a little bit more than that, and seeing how toxic it is to the human body. If nothing happens from this one serving or the few servings, then it's totally fine. I'm sure they have, more deeper studies than this, but they're definitely not doing a due diligent job with it. And they're probably not testing all of the relationships. So they might be testing just high fructose corn syrup alone, but are they testing how this reacts with nitrates or how this reacts with artificial colors and sweeteners and vegetable oils and carrageenans? There's so many different pairings that you can do, and they're all chemicals. Everything is basically a chemical, a molecule, and how they react with each other is very different. So it would probably take thousands of different pairings and sequences to see how all of these items react with each other inside the body, and they just don't have the time to do that. So testing on these things is very, very unregulated and very simple, especially when they have a huge food lobbyist funding it. And then, just like I said, one serving won't hurt you. If you have one serving, our bodies are very resilient and they will be able to excrete whatever you are processing. Your body, if it's in a healthy state, luckily it'll excrete it. But if you're someone who has an impaired, let's say kidney or liver, let's say you drink a lot, you smoke a lot, your liver isn't functioning properly, you're not going to be able to clean your blood, you're not going to be able to excrete all of these excess items, all these toxic items. So you might just store them instead. So you're going to store them in your bones, in your fatty tissue. They're not going to be able to excrete. So what happens after, you have this 1 cup of coffee? Nothing's going to really happen if you have 1 cup of coffee with this really, really rancid, awful creamer. This right here, the Coffee Mate creamer, that's not even creamer. It's just water and vegetable oils, which is so disgusting to me. You have that one coffee, nothing's going to happen. But what happens when you have this coffee every single day for months and years? And not only are you having this coffee, but you're also having eggs with ketchup on it. And then you're having a Quest bar as a snack. Then you're having a Yoplait light yogurt with your dinner. Let's say on the weekend you're going on a hike and you have this beef jerky. So it slowly starts to compound, and you're not looking at this single serving anymore. You are looking at the entire picture and what's happening 10 years down the road after having multiple progressors. So these are the dirty 7 that I'd recommend. I would recommend to avoid these ingredients at all costs. So the dirty 7 are all vegetable and seed oils. So this includes soy, canola, grapeseed, corn, safflower. Even olive oil, that is definitely still a vegetable oil, especially when you're cooking with it. Now, do I think olive oil is going to kill you? Of course not. So if you live in a country where olive oil is in abundance and your family cooks with it, don't stress about it. But when you have control of your own foods, only cook with ghee, coconut oil, things that are saturated fatty acids. So all vegetable oils, all seed oils, do not consume those. And then artificial sweeteners, so aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, definitely don't have those. High fructose corn syrup, artificial colors, specifically red 40, yellow 6, blue 1 and 2, nitrates, so sodium nitrates, MSG, monosodium glutamate, and then soy anything, so soy protein, soy lectin, soybean oil. Avoid it at all costs if you can. Now, do I expect you to memorize that list? No, not at all. I might recommend you to take a photo of it so you have it on your phone and you can kind of memorize it and kind of ingrain them into your mind, where if you're grocery shopping, you know what to look for. But in my opinion, I think that's kind of unnecessary too. I don't expect you to memorize it. I don't expect you to take a photo of it and carry it around with you. What I would recommend is the best solution that's just quick, easy, requires no learning whatsoever, is how you shop. So the best solution to avoid these ingredients is when you're looking at your general grocery store. This is going to be the basic outline, right? Because all of the fresh ingredients, they need to be close to the doors, to the walls, to the back end of the store, to the meat freezers, because it's fresh food. It needs to be delivered quickly. It needs to be transported quickly so they can keep things going and moving, because it's constantly rotating. They're not things just sitting on the shelf that need to be rotated once a month. So they have to be on the outside skirts of the store. Now, this is great news for you because you can just go in, make a grocery shopping list, and if you stick to these outside corners where they just have cheese, butter, milk, meat, seafood, vegetables, even wine, and then you get a couple of things in the middle aisles, you're gonna eliminate 95% of these ingredients, because these aren't found in fresh foods. They're not found in cheeses. They're not found in meats and seafoods. Maybe meat, so you do have to, if you're looking out for meat, look out for nitrates. If you see any sort of nitrate on the label, definitely skip it. But I would say another layer of protection is not only stick to the outskirts of the grocery store, but always buy grass-fed, pasture-raised, organic. Those labels do hold weight to them, and they will save you the trouble of looking at the ingredients, because if something's organic, if something is grass-fed, they're not going to put nitrates in there. They're not going to put any preservatives. This is the best solution in my opinion. Again, you can take a picture of the list that I have presented to you. I definitely recommend that, but it's, again, not necessary. The whole purpose of this course is to make your life easier, and I truly think sticking to the outskirts of the grocery store will provide wonders to you guys. Super simple, and it's very easy to follow with the foods we recommend. So we really only recommend whole food ingredients, so fresh baked bread, sourdough, rye, carrots, potatoes, fresh fruit, seafood like oysters, lobster, high quality proteins, cheese, buttermilk. All of these things are absolutely amazing for you, and we recommend all of them in this program.